And welcome to Kansas. We have just ended practice. We're still waiting for qualifying to start, but it shall shortly. I promise. This ATO is being strange. Everything's being wonky right now. I may have to restart that. It's a great start to the stream. Perfect.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Perfect. Perfect start. I don't think they've made it to that many digits yet, Scott.
I don't think they have either.
Not yet.
That's another. I mean, you need another 8 million.
Yep.
People to show up.
Well, not quite.
To sign up for iRacing, and that's not happening. Maybe ever.
Correct. They have to be around a long time. All right, qualifying underway. Finally got the crap sorted out, and we're good to go. Who we got on track?
We got a lot of cars on track here.
Become best friends. Yep.
Travis,
Yep.
Okay,
Mr.
wait.
Ghost.
Are really us?
Travis.
What number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
And there's J Munch reminding me to turn that off. Thanks, J Munch.
Lap time should start rolling in here any second.
Working on it. There's Travis going out there. A few drivers already on their time lap, including Jake Lawrence, Brad Wilson, Zach Martison.
Here we go. 2 shine cars with laps in. Brad Wilson, the fastest of those two. 31.211. Setting the benchmark early.
Wilson and Bryant Banky.
Top of the board in practice was a 30.6, so lots of time here to gain. Brad Wilson's second lap going to go top of the board, 30.7, so good pickup for him on lap 2.
We got a request in chat to run the mini oval since the track looks loose. I believe that's Ryan. That's you, right, Ryan? Schizo? If I remember correctly, it's been a while. Yay! Matt Vinke out on track. He's completed his run. Travis on his second lap. First one good for 11th.
Wolfenbarger top of the board, 30.677.
Ghostman come to the start finish. See where he clocks in. 31.4.
It is about a 0.2 of a second pickup, but only one position.
Sims quicker on lap 2, moves up one spot to 3rd. Trenton clocks in 6th, rolls down the pit lane. Quinn's on his second lap.
See if someone like Lucas Hoitzma can knock Wolfenbarger off of the pole.
First lap for him goes to the, well, was 10th spot until Blake jumps up to 6th. So we'll keep an eye on Blake, see if his second lap can propel him to the lead here.
Luke is carrying a lot of throttle through 3 and 4, right up by that wall. Cut down to the apron at the start finish. Let's see what it is.
30.8 in that a pole run. 4th spot.
4th for Hoitzma.
Blake at 31.85. He's also not going to get the pole.
Blake's second lap not actually counting. They got on the wall somewhere.
Sure, be upset about that. John Neckrich out on track. First lap, 13th quick. Also on track, John Garrett, Davis Greenwell. Let's see the Carson Bechtel machine tonight. John just pulls it down the pit lane. He knew his second lap wasn't going to be there. So John Garrett and Davis Greenwell might each get 1 lap in. I'm not going to be able to get both, I don't believe. Garrett might. He's right at the line now. It'd be close. He stands on it. He might get both of them in. First one puts him 17th. Check out on the 20 of Greenwell. Taking over for Colin Teague as the new highlighter of the league. Davis going to go and get 1 lap. It's a 31.868. Puts him 18th. And jump back to John Garrett. Might be able to pick it up here at the end of the lap.
Or
across
think
the
he
stripe.
got there.
Yep.
It
31-1
does
moves him up to
count.
12th. Nicely done, John Garrett. And
Right
that's
at the
it.
buzzer.
You want to interview Mr. Wolfenbarger?
Let's indeed drag in your pole sitter, number 32, Shenandoah Shine Chevrolet of Garrett Wolfenbarger. I just got to scroll all the way down to find him.
You can do it. I believe
There
in you.
he is. There he is. Garrett, this is Hayden and Swiss up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Well, you put it on the pole here in front of your teammate, Brad Wilson, Shenandoah Shine locking out the front row.
Yeah.
What do you think of Kansas? What do you think your chances are here tonight?
I always like Kansas. Great track. Probably top 5 for me. So love this mile and a half track. Feels pretty loose out there. So set feels pretty good, and ripping the top's pretty fun here. So love ripping the lips. So hopefully we can, me and Bradley, race clean and stay up front the whole race. That'd be nice. Hopefully we don't wreck each other, because I could see that happening in the future.
We have a report in chat that the Wilson's going to be
Bradley's gonna wreck
wrecking that
me?
Wolfenbarger guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what he's been telling me all night. So maybe his I know he's been having computer issues. Hopefully it doesn't happen tonight, but maybe that'll stop him from wrecking me. Who knows?
We'll see. Good luck, my friend.
Yep.
I got one more question
Yeah.
for you, Garrett. Here is,
Mhm.
this is a track that, at least in my experience, there's been a lot of debate where to run to save tires. Some people think it's better on the top. Some people think it's better on the bottom. What are your thoughts, and where are you going to be running tonight?
Well, I'd say if the car's tight, I'd probably say run bottom and save tire, but this car's been loose right off the start, so I think I'll try to be staying up top, see how that goes for a little bit, because I feel like he's running the bottom. You're probably going to run the right rear off more, gassing it up, so we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we choose the right lane and try to save as much tire. Sometimes I'm not the best at saving tire, and I just go out there and try to go as far as the front as I can, and then they can all catch me, so hopefully we stay up front.
I have a
right,
question.
well-
You ready? Oh, never mind. You just answered it. I was going to say, who's going to be the last Shine car to get on track? It was the 52 of Brian. Good job, Brian. All right. Well, good luck.
Are we
Right.
run through our starting lineup, Swiss?
Maybe, since they're rolling, it might be a good idea now that they're on track. Garrett Wolfenbarger on pole, as we mentioned in the 32. Shenandoah Shine Camaro. Brad Wilson, the outside pole, has the Shenandoah Shine Mustang out there. Jolene Ruby Sims in the number 6 Donut Moth Toyota starts in third. Lucas Weissman's Sunny D Ford rolls off fourth. Jake Lawrence in the, what is that? I don't know. Gentrified Harpoon. That sounds awkward. Rolls off fifth in his Toyota. Brantley Bryant in the KD Designs Toyota starts in the 6th spot. Blake Giglio, well, he's got a cheater Sidewinder Racing League Shenandoah Shine meme. He thinks it's week 4 all over again. He's got a meme on the hood. The Bang Energy Ford Mustang starts in 7th. Trenton Sneed, Trans Technologies Camaro rolls off 8th. Grant Harrell, he still thinks it's Patriotic Week out there in the Miller Lite, number 22. William Viola, welcome on back. He's in the Culver's Ford, starting in 10th.
11th, Zach Margison. 12th, John Garrett. 13th, Quinn Newton. 14th, John Neckridge. 15th, Travis Martin. 16th, Cliff Mullen. 17th, Cody Brown in the 17 car. 18th, Davis Greenwell. 19th, Matt Benke. And 20th final qualifier, Daniel Llewellyn.
Trevor Trago starting from the pits in the 91's 21st. Mike Edwards also starting there 22nd. Gatlin Downey, Double Quick Machine 23rd. Jeff Price rolling off 24th. Jay Munch 25th. And Bill Rivard shotgun in the field in 26th. And green flag out in the air. Garrett Wolfenbarger and Brad Wilson going to lead us down to turn number 1. Jolene Sims already looking inside underneath the white line, trying to see if we can get the nose in there. That's Toyota. Lucas is looking through the middle. And we have them all over the place already in turn number 1.
Wolfenbarger going to try to clear the 51 on the bottom. Not going to work. Brad Wilson with the run off of the top into turn 3. He's going to be your leader.
Lucas Weissman dives it to the bottom in turn number 3, trying to find out if the tire savings is better down there or not. You saw the 32 get sideways. Brantley Bryant even hits the wall back there in 4th because we'll give up that spot to Sims.
Brad Wilson did indeed lead lap 1 over Garrett Wolfenbarger, Lucas Hoitzmer, Jolene Sims, and Brantley Bryant, all 3 Shenandoah Shine cars in the top 5 at the conclusion of lap number 1. As you can see, these cars fanning out all over the place, top, middle, bottom. Very wide racetrack here at Kansas. With that progressive banking, you can run just about anywhere.
52 got extremely loose in 1 and 2. Was dead sideways. Jake Lawrence also suffered. He hit the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. He's trying to recover. He was all the way up to 5th. He's fallen to 8th and going backwards as Trenton Sneed's on his inside.
Side by side through quite a bit of this field as they start to kind of figure it out and get single file. Trenton Snead not able to clear that 68 machine to Jake Lawrence as Blake Giglio does, and might have gotten the outside wall down the straightaway was that 16 machine. Not quite sure. Wouldn't be the first time this season Blake's hit a wall driving in a straight line, though.
Seems to make him faster, though.
It kind of does.
Most of the top groups all single file to this Jake Lawrence battle. Just trying to follow Trenton Snead and Brantley Bryant. Bryant's into the outside wall.
That's pretty solid contact for that number 52 machine.
It's already the second time the 52's been in the fence. Blake Giglio racing Jake Lawrence for 5th now.
Trenton Snead to the inside of that potentially wounded number 52 machine. The 22 looking to make it 3 wide. Trenton Snead not fond of 3 wide, especially at this racetrack.
Or anywhere.
He's probably having flashbacks to that 4 wide battle with me and Giglio, where mistakes were made. We'll put it that way.
We're just not going to identify who.
Oh, by me. Absolutely by me. There's Harrell at the bottom. He's going to clear, it looks like. No, he's not. Trenton with the momentum around the outside.
Highline, very powerful at Kansas. Looks like Mike Edwards is starting park, the number 14.
If I had a nickel for every time the 14 machine starting parked.
Probably be able to afford a new car on iRacing.
Exactly. First 8 cars now single file, maybe 9. Harrell. Quinn Newton, first car side by side with the 27, and we've got our first caution.
It's not been Cliff Mullen's night. Several cautions in the dirt race, and here he is losing it. See if there's any contact from Daniel. Yep, Daniel gets him in the right rear, gets him out of shape, and then Cliff not able to hang on to it. He almost saved it. Cliff goes around.
Honestly, good on Cliff for just turning left and locking it down when he could have tried to save it or potentially overcorrect into the field. Honestly, pretty good decision making from Cliff Mullins there.
And Daniel Llewellyn just made the list.
And Bill Rivard has also disconnected from the session, so Rivard done for the night. Probably going to start and park there. Damn it, Bill.
What the hell, Bill?
Well, these guys got 4 sets of tires in the pits tonight. Would be kind of surprised to see anybody come and use them here.
Yeah, I would expect only fuel stops here for the guys a little farther back. I don't think we'll see the front guys in 7 laps, but you never know. They might.
You can say our fuel window is about 31 to 33 laps. Could certainly see some guys, especially Lucas Hoytsma and then Blake Giglio and guys towards the back coming in, topping off. Trying to extend that run just a little bit more on this initial set of tires.
I think everybody wants to come just
nope,
about.
Wilson stays out. Wolfenbarger stays out. And indeed, Lucas Hoytsma, the first one to lead him down. Blake Giglio stayed out.
Now, Lucas always wanted to try a fuel strategy, so I'm not surprised he's down here. Doesn't really cut out a stop at this point, but you never know when it can get you to the next caution or not. So you heard him say you can go about 30 laps, so you can kind of 30, 60, 90 your way to the end.
And Lucas Hoytsma going to be the first car off of pit road, but not by much.
So 8 cars stay out. Those are
but it wouldn't have mattered. It looks like Jolene's got a penalty.
Wilson, Wolfenbarger, Giglio, Bryant, Harrell, Viola, Newton, and Downey have all decided to keep their cars out on track. First one, as we mentioned, was Lucas Hoytsma to the pit lane. Should be Sims next, but Sims with the penalty going to drop to the tail of the field. Jake Lawrence now will be 10th. Fuel stops only for Hoytsma, Lawrence, Snead, Margison, Martin, Brown, Greenwell, Llewellyn, Jeff Rice, J Munch, Matt Banky. First car that looks like they took a set of tires. John Garrett, a little surprising here. Bolted on a set, as did John Neckrich in the 26, so the 66-26 bolting on tires here. Cliff Mullins, he went for the spin, so it's not surprising that he was down there for 14.2 seconds. I don't know if he took tires or that was just some damage repair. Maybe we can pull Cliff in and ask.
That one.
Hey, Cliff.
What?
Well, Did Daniel make the list or what?
Oh, yeah, he's already been on it anyway.
Extra point on the list?
Well, he's definitely going to get one back. I mean, that's pretty obvious on that one.
Well, pretty clear what happened. Just wanted to ask, did you take a set of tires, or was that just damage repair you were down there for?
No, I had to take a set of tires. My right rear was killed after spinning it right there.
10-4, so good luck coming back up through the field, and hopefully you can salvage a good finish here and not run into Daniel.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully I do run into him.
I mean, it'd be good for our entertainment, sure.
That's what I'm here for.
10 more, bud. Good luck.
Yep.
Cliff Mullins obviously not happy with the 23. Kind of figured. Also said he did take a set of tires there, so 14.2 seconds, enough to bolt on a set of tires for Cliff. Most of the cars 14.4, 14.7. Bill Rivera gives us a thumbs up in chat. Still no explanation as to why the 10 car pulled off the track. Hopefully we'll get something there soon.
Daniel Wallen said he barely touched Cliff Mullins.
Still wrecked him.
It wrecked him either way, so I don't think that's going to make Cliff feel any better.
That's something we took forever to explain to Hayden. Hayden be like, I barely touched him. Well, he still wrecked him. Especially on short tracks. There you go. Report from the 10. Not feeling it tonight. Lots of shit going on. It'd be like that sometimes. Hang in there, buddy. Field filing up. Double file for the restart. Lights out on our Ford Mustang pace car.
Brad Wilson choosing the outside lane with teammate Garrett Wolfenbarger taking the inside.
Also has the 52 of Bryant on the outside. I believe that's why the decision was made. The controls are ahead of the teammate car. Give that opportunity to the 52 to jump the 16 on the restart with the timed restarts. A lot of Fords up towards the front. We got 4 of them in the top 6.
One Chevrolet and one Toyota. Those both are in the top 4.
Pace car is about to make that sharp turn. Let's watch this restart from on top of... Well, let's go with Margerson. That's the inside of his car. Let's try the outside. There we go. Pace car is off, and here we go from that 9th spot.
Good restart from the Shenandoah Shine cars as Brad Wilson begins to blank.
Had some internet connection issues going on with that team, so hopefully they kind of fade out and can keep solid and have a good race. It's already almost the entire top 10 single file except for that battle for 10th. It's Lucas Weissman getting by Margerson. Lots of different lines being run, but not a lot of side-by-side.
Lucas Hoytzer on the inside of teammate Quinn Newton.
Keep an eye on the tires as well. John Garrett, first one in the field on fresh tires, up to the 18th spot. Restarted 20th, so he's picked up 2 already.
John Garrett, past champion of the Xfinity Series here in Sidewinder Racing League. So unfortunate to see him that far back, but he is a long-run car. Not a lot of short-run pace out of John Garrett, but he knows how to be patient, take care of his stuff, and work his way to the front as the race goes on. Long way to go. Not even 20% through.
Cody Brown trying to knock into the top 10. Battling Quinn Newton here for it. Trenton Sneed right behind him. Hoytsman, Margerson, and Brown all came down and fill up the tanks. Quinn Newton did not.
That little bit of extra fuel is going to help those race cars maintain a slightly loose condition. Extra fuel sloshing around back there. Throwing the weight to the right side of that race car.
We got a 6th place battle between Downey and Viola.
Those two dead even down the back straightaway. Lucas Hoytsma kind of just being patient, trying to find a way through.
Lucas wants to stay to the bottom to save those tires as much as he can. Gatlin Downey, a big bobble off the corner. Viola not able to take advantage. Hoyt was going to go all the way to the grass and push things 3 wide as they're holding him up. Patience ran out for the 97. He says, we're going to make this work. Gatlin Downey once
And
again loose off the top there.
back to 2 wide for that position. Hoytsma does indeed keep that low line position on William Viola. As Viola blinks,
Which I was watching him. That was unfortunate.
the hood of that race car was flying off during the blinking. That was quite interesting.
Trenton Sneed's gotten around Cody Brown, moved into the top 10. Lucas is going to complete the pass on the 27 here. Is the hood? I see what you're talking about. The hood just flew off for me as well. That's wild. Viola all over the place.
Margison clipped the apron in turn 2 and that got that machine all out of shape.
Giglio and Bryant, brief battle for third as Bryant got to his inside, but then Giglio using the top side powered back away.
Really no change in that top 5 since the restart. Still Wilson, Wolfenbarger, Giglio, Bryant, Perel.
Now you have Hoytsman trying to put the moves on the 05 of Gatlin Downey. Downey's team didn't have the funding to switch from the patriotic wrap last week back to the normal wrap, so they're still rocking those patriotic colors. Car looks good, why not? Still side by side for that spot. I'm sure Lucas would rather have this completed by now.
Hoytsma going to be really patient though. Could have thrown a slider there to get position. Chooses not to. Really does not want to abuse those tires. Trying to get away from that side draft and now get an entry angle up for this corner. Bottom has seemed to be slightly better in 3 and 4 in my experience than it is in 1 and 2. And it is, as you see there, Hoytsma clear to the 6th position.
I was distracted by hoods flying off again, sorry.
And now everyone single file back to Cody Brown, looking to the inside of William Viola. Mr.
John
Ghostman
Garrett
right behind that.
has closed in on the tail of this pack. He's 15th on the freshest tires. We'll see if those 8 laps matter all that much. He's moved up from 20th to 15th, 5 positions up since the restart. Jake Lawrence in the wall back in the background.
Trying to see to the inside of Gatlin Downey there for the 8th position. He's gonna be clear into turn 1. I hear a car in the grass down the front stretch.
I think it was Matt Benke in the Amtrak car. He went off the rails and through the grass, got derailed for a moment. Just drove it straight through the grass, kept it from spinning. Back on the track he went, and on he goes with his race, trying to get back up to speed using the apron through 1 and 2.
And now all these cars that were single file back in the pack, a lot of them have gotten side by side. Sneed on the inside of Zachary Margison. Viola on the inside of Downey. Cody Brown about to be middle of 3 wide. Travis Martin on the outside. Quinn Newton wisely backs out of a potential 3 wide. He's going to be on the inside of Davis Greenwell. And behind all of that, John Garrett's got nowhere to go on those fresh tires.
It's just chaotic all of a sudden. Pure madness has broken out in the middle of this pack. Almost looks like a start of the race the way they're all bunched up.
They are 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Garrett now looking to the outside, trying to find some clean racetrack.
This is from Lucas Hoytsma back, 6th to about 18th.
Lucas now getting passed on the outside by Trenton Sneed. Lucas Hoytsma starting to fall back?
Saving.
That's
Gotta be saving.
gotta be saving fuel.
There goes the 27 of
Oh,
Viola. Contact and the net code sends the 27 into the grass. He saves it. Drives it straight out and keeps it green.
Lucas has to think he can cut out a stop. That's gotta be what it is.
He's saving. You can tell because Trenton just drove around the outside and they're on the same strategy. Wolfenbarger and Giglio. This is a battle for second. Heated up. Luke Blake trying to get to the inside. About lost it in the 16. My goodness, he was so sideways off of 4. And we get the caution. Cody Brown's around in the wheeling machine. It's like netcode, Cody Brown and 20 of Greenwell. Netcode decided Cody Brown was coming up into Greenwell, and netcode has destroyed the 17.
You gotta love netcode.
Brutal. Cody was having a good run there in that big pack. Let's pull out the drones and get a look at it overhead.
iRacing in a recent development update said they hired a netcode expert recently, so hopefully this gets fixed soon.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal for those two. Greenwell and Cody Brown. No excuse for that.
And now you really will see all these cars come down and take a set of tires, as especially those that had stayed out that first time nearing the end of their fuel tank.
You're one of the 3 cars that took tires last time. Do you go without this time?
I don't think you can, because you'd be halfway through your tires, not even a quarter of the way through the race.
All right, we'll keep an eye on John Garrett, Cliff Mullins, and I forgot who the other car was that took tires.
I guess we're nearing... No, yeah, it would be a quarter of the way through on lap 30.
About the time we go green, yeah. Be pretty close.
I couldn't justify taking a second set here. But John Garrett might have. No, he did not.
32.51 lead the race off the pit lane, but Wolfenbarger going to jump the teammate and take the lead. Giglio still 3rd, Bryant 4th, Lucas 5th, Trenton 6th, Gatlin Downey 7th, Travis Martin in 8th. First car to take fuel only, Cliff Mullins in 9th. So, as I said, Cliff Mullins had to take that set early. He's going to bite the bullet here. Not take a set. Margison in 10th, Quinn Newton 11th, John Garrett. We're showing a 13.9 second stop. Are you sure he did not take tires?
I didn't see either side of that race car go up into the air.
And you'd expect him to be about 6th or 7th if he didn't. Well, a long stop for not taking tires. If he's in the voice chat, we could ask him.
Yeah, neither side of that race car went up into the air, so if they changed tires, that would be mighty impressive. I'm not seeing a John Garrett anywhere in Sidewinder.
Oh, no John. Can't ask him.
John, if you are listening, we are confused.
Send a representative to our Twitch chat. Inform us. How we doing, Racy Mug? Long time no see. Boy Trenton's in 6th right now. Welcome in, everybody. Quarter of the way through the race. Go ahead and throw your numbers in chat. Who do you think's going to win? And besides who do you think's going to win, go ahead and shout out who you're rooting for. Who are you picking for this race, Hayden, now that we're a quarter of the way through?
Blake Giglio, to me, is looking really strong, even though he's started a little farther back. He seems to have been the strongest on these long runs. But the 51 of Brad Wilson has very quickly and recently made himself the favorite nearly every week.
Do you think the guys that had to not take tires here are in trouble? Obviously, we know Cliff didn't. And unsure on John Garrett. You're saying the replay shows he didn't, but the timing says he might have, so we're a little conflicted on the 66. But the 37 clearly did not take fuel here, or did not take tires. So what do you think it's going to happen for him?
Cliff, unfortunately, is going to fall back very quickly and just have to hope that he can get back on the same strategy as everyone else before he loses a lap and then just try to pick his way back through the field. But he was kind of boxed into this strategy when Daniel Wallen got in the back of him early on and spun him around, really heated up and destroyed those tires. So kind of put in a box, and he's just trying to play it to the best of his ability at this point.
I think best case scenario for Cliff is he had 4 sets in the pits, right? So 5 total?
There you go. Report is fuel only on the 66, just intentionally made a longer stop so he didn't have to be up front.
Stand 4. 32. Wolfenbarger. 51 Wilson gets us restarted once again. Blake Giglio hangs right in there with the 3 Shenandoah Shine teammates. Not allowing Bryant to clear. Wilson's going to drop down and take the air off of Giglio.
Wolfenbarger going to get the run off for the top, and he's going to clear his teammate. Giglio in the middle of those three Shenandoah Shine cars, trying to sneak up to 5th ahead of Lucas Hoitzma with that restart on the top lane.
Bryant going for the move here. Goes to the inside of Giglio. Tried to throw the slider, come up off the corner. Giglio not having it. Kept the nose in there. Now they're making contact on that front stretch.
Giglio upstairs. Bryant throwing it down in the bottom.
Bryant wants to clear him so bad, but Giglio not having it.
That momentum off the top is just so powerful if you can't get him cleared.
Especially off of 2. That top is so good off of 2. And Bryant might as well give it up at this point. Wilson going for the lead here. Running
First
all the
two
way down to
rows.
the grass.
First 2 rows side by side. Bryant going to throw it in again ahead of Blake Giglio. Not going to throw a slider. He's going to try to slide
there
up
he
in
comes.
front of it.
No, didn't have it. Giglio keeping that nose in there and keeping the spot.
You saw the back end of that race car
Yep.
step out from Bryant, trying to make sure he stayed off of the 16 machine.
Oh, scary. Scary moment. Oh, he makes contact off of 4. Hangs onto the race car. Trenton, he's going to try to get to the outside. I'm not sure he wants to be there. The way the 52 is driving that bottom.
Randy Bryant not going to be making friends with the 16 this early in the race. Just past a quarter distance.
It moves Trenton into 4th, and Giglio is probably happy to have a buffer car between him and a 52 at that point.
Trent's need immediately back to the bottom once he has an opportunity.
And Trent trying to save that rubber. Wilson putting the pressure on again for the lead, once again on the bottom.
He's going to throw a slide job in a 1 and 2. He's going to park it on the top. Wolfenbarger going to have momentum. Let's see if he does a crossover.
Here it comes. Wolfenbarger to the inside, down the backstretch. Can Wolfenbarger get clear and slide it up in front of Wilson?
He does. He's going to throw a slide job of his own. He's a little sideways.
Wilson back to the inside. This is great stuff for the lead. Obviously not good for the tires, but great for our entertainment.
And now the battle has settled for now. New race leader Brad Wilson started on the pole. Lost the lead in some pit sequences. Wow, the 32 machine is loose off
Big
of 2.
time. Big time loose as that wiggle off of 2 there. Bryant able to get back around Trenton Sneed, so Sneed's dropped to 5th. Hoitzma right behind him in 6th. Travis Martin 7th. Margison 8th. Jolene Ruby Sims is 9th. And Grant Harrell, your current top 10. A little further back, we got Quinn Newton in 11th. Gatlin Downey is running 12th. William Viola in 13th. Jake Lawrence battling him, looking to the inside, trying to take that spot away. Viola has a couple of blinks there, and I think Lawrence will get the spot. And John Neckrich in 15th. He'd be the next one up to try and get Viola. John Garrett did not take the tire, so he's in 16th, licking his lumps after taking that set early. Jeff Rice, 17th in the 39, orange and black machine there. For Back Channel Productions, Cliff Mullins, the other car that had to not take tires, he's back there in 18th, wishing he had. Jeff Rice had a 11-second stop, so he may also be on this no tire strategy here. Then you have Jay Munch in 19th. He took 4 tires. Davis Greenwell, 25-second stop. Obviously, he had damage to repair on that 20 machine after the contact with Cody Brown, the net code there. Cody shows 2 laps down. I guess he had to take a tow. Unfortunate for the 17, but he's got the fast repair and a brand new race car. Now he just needs a couple of cautions to get back on the lead lap, but this is not one of those tracks that lends itself to a lot of caution very often.
Kansas does go green quite a bit, being a very wide racing groove racetrack. You'll see tracks like Texas, while they're wide in literal distance, the racing groove at tracks like that is very narrow, so you have cars fighting for position there. But Kansas, like I mentioned earlier, you can run from white line to the wall and make time and speed. So not really a lot of reason to fight for the same piece of real estate. You can make them all work. That doesn't mean one's not preferred, it just means they all work.
See Lucas Hoitzma taking over that 5th spot while we were listening to Hayden chat about the racing grooves. Also saw in the background Grant Harrell completely sideways coming out of turn 4. That's got him under pressure from Quinn Newton for that 10th spot. Behind them, Jake Lawrence gets by Gatlin Downey.
Lots of loose race cars early on.
12 laps into this run, we heard they can go about 30 to 33.
Surprised to see a lot of loose race cars with the track temp being only 78 degrees, so a very cold track, producing a lot of grip for these cars.
Cold and grip works to a degree, and then if it gets too low, it actually starts to go the other way, or the track is just too hard to actually provide the grip. Seen that a lot in the next gen era.
It's too cold to even rubber in sometimes. You saw it at Bristol in real life this year. The track would just not take rubber and it shredded those Goodyear tires.
It was awesome.
That was amazing. I hope we see that again this weekend.
Still the best race of the year. Really the best race of the past couple years.
It really has been. Back up front, still no change. Brad Wilson leads by about 2 car lengths over Garrett Wolfenbarger. These cars have fallen off about a second in about 10 laps since the restart. Brad Wilson ran his fastest lap of the race right after the restart at 30.9. And this last time by, he runs a 31.8. So about really 9/10 of fall off in 10 laps.
Viola and Downey battle for 13th. When we can see it. Downey gets loose. Big slide out of the 05 out of turn number 2. And that'll let Viola hang on to the spot.
And this is a track that doesn't look like it would eat up the tires, but it certainly does, and that's why you see a lot of these drivers wrapping the bottom. I think they figured out that maybe tonight the bottom's going to be the place to be for those tires. Lucas Hoitzma especially committed to that bottom lane I've seen.
Jolene Ruby Sims completes the pass for 8th.
Something happened to Blake Giglio.
Had a big issue there. Looks like he got up against the wall and held it there to not wreck everybody. The 52 and 97 both get by. He has to recover his speed. Doesn't look like too much damage, just kind of got stuck against the wall.
Could be an innocent little rub there on the wall with these composite bodies. Pop right back out, good to go.
Lucas looking for that 3rd spot now. Sunny D Machine steadily working his way forward. He's going to do the slider. Gets past the 52 through the center of the corner, then slides up on exit. 52 big loose off of turn number 2, and he's not going to be able to have the run to get back to the inside and give the position to Lucas Hoitzma.
Riley tried to throw it in there on the bottom, but Lucas is going to cover it off, take the air off of that 52 machine. He's going to set his sights on the leading pair of Brad Wilson and Garrett Wolfenbarger, who have not separated whatsoever.
Lucas has a second and a half to make up. We'll see if the early saving is going to pay dividends late in the run for Lucas.
That last lap, even with passing the 52 of Bryant, Lucas was 4/10 quicker than your leader, Brad Wilson.
Lucas decided it's time to go in this set, and he is making the inroads.
That bottom lane, I think, has really paid dividends, not overloading that right front. Brad Wilson 32.4 exactly. Lucas Hoitzma 32.0. So Lucas is consistently 4/10 faster, and that's quite honestly terrifying for the rest of the field.
About 19 laps into this 31 to 33 lap run. If Lucas can continue that kind of pace, he'll be past him in a couple laps.
Let's see if he can do it again. Lucas 32.2. Brad Wilson 32.32, so not quite the same gain. I think Brad and Garrett have noticed that 97 Sunny D machine growing very large in their mirrors very quickly, and have kind of settled their quarrel for the time being and decided to just see what kind of lap times they can make.
Lucas just hit the wall on the backstretch trying to get the arc into 3. He just brushed it ever so lightly. Maximum arc possible, making the science work for him. Unfortunately, the wall doesn't quite help it.
Maximum arc in the Arc Music Xfinity series.
Gotta love the tie-in. Oh, Wolfenbarger into the wall, slides down the hill. Wilson, I think, got the wall too, and they're both now in Lucas's lap.
Brad Wilson got the wall first, and it unfortunately put Wolfenbarger in the wall with him. And yeah, Lucas Hoitzma, that 0.8 of a second gap is 0 very quickly.
Meanwhile, Bryant and Giglio battle back in the back for the 4th spot while we watch the top 3. There's a whole gaggle of cars all bunched up all the way back to, I believe that was Margerson in 9th. So 4th through 9th all wadded up together. Lucas, I believe, going to have this pass done on Wilson. Now he goes
Another
after
car in the
Wolfenberger.
grass on the front straightaway. I will look to see who that is.
It's either Jay Munch or Cody Brown, I think. Could have been Benke. Benke has disappeared, though. I think he's been on pit road for a while. Brantley Bryant. This group of cars we were telling you about. Bryant, Trenton, Jolene Sims. Blake Giglio's in the wall. Blake going to give up the spots on Margison as he gets out of the wall.
Joel Munchell was that car in the grass on the front stretch. Lucas Hoytsma has made the switch. Lucas is going upstairs because Garrett Wolfenbarger went down to the bottom to cover off Lucas.
Bryant
Huge
is
run from
wrecking
Lucas
loose.
Hoytsma.
Brantley Bryant is absolutely wrecking loose back here. I know Lucas just took the lead up at the front, but Brantley Bryant, this purple and silver Toyota, is absolutely dead sideways just about every lap, and he is in front of 4 or 5 lead lap cars. It is absolutely terrifying to watch.
Very apparent that 52 machine has started to hold up this little pack here. Jolene going to go to the bottom. Potentially clear the 52 machine. We'll see, and yes.
Yep, she got that one
that
done.
Difficult, not that difficult whatsoever. Trenton also very glued to the bottom tonight. Let's see if he can get past the 52 machine.
And Trenton's been trying to pass that 52 for several laps, and then Jolene Sims runs through and makes it look easy. Trenton's got to be frustrated at that one.
Trenton is a very cautious race car driver. He's not going to take the same kind of risk that someone like a Lucas Hoytsma or a Brad Wilson might. Trenton, very understanding of his skill level and where it's at, too. He understands that he might only be 6th quick on a night, so he will just chill in 6th if that's where he thinks he should be.
It's very different from my strategy, where I think I should run 20th or worse every race, so if I'm ever higher than that, I'm like freaking out. Oh my gosh, Travis Martin, big slide out of turn number 2. I think he was trying to stay out of Brantley Bryant, as Bryant had a little bit of a poor exit. Travis trying to stay off of him, cut the wheel a little sharper than he intended to, got the car out of shape. Martin trying to take over the 6th spot. As Trenton finally gets past that 52, and I'm sure he is breathing a sigh of relief after doing so.
It's the 81 machine as the final car in the top 5. Jolene into the wall in turn 2. Gets it out of the wall very quickly. You've seen some cars kind of just get stuck there.
Like Blake, who's fallen to 9th. On board the 16's view here. Watch this whole pack. You can actually see all the way up to Lucas Hoytsma in the lead.
Matt Benke, as you said earlier, you couldn't find him. That's because he has disconnected from the session. The 35 car to the garage and done for the night.
Blake trying to pass Margison. I was so confused there. I see 88, I think Quinn Newton, but it is Margison here in the Xfinity Series. Shout out to Quinn anyway. Quinn's in the 5, a few spots behind. Hence my confusion. Blake gets it done, moves up to the 8th spot. Starting to recover from his wall ride. Jolene running down Wilson now. Bringing Trenton with her. Jolene looks to the inside of the Shenandoah Shine Mustang and makes it look easy. Drives right on into the corner. Wilson, no fight at all. Trenton be the next one. Pick off the Shenandoah Shine car as he's drifting backwards quickly.
Wilson, who was running the top that entire run, and like you said, starting to fall back to these cars that have been running the bottom. But Garrett Wolfenbarger, who was up there on the top with Brad the whole run, not letting Lucas get out of sight at all.
Look at how sideways that 51 is. My goodness, you could read the door number if you were Trenton Sneed coming off that corner. Trenton gets to the inside and gets past the loose 51 Mustang. And he'll be happy to have that car behind him as Wilson slides it all the way down the hill, and I think he's coming to pit road right here.
He is. The 51 machine, Brad Wilson to the pit lane.
He's had enough. Also on the pit lane is Jake Lawrence.
This would be a little early.
Especially if you're trying to go, I guess he can go 32 and 32, but he only went 30 this time. Maybe he knows
Yeah,
to
so
run the
he's
bottom next time.
gonna have to push the fuel run to make it on one more stop this next time.
And
Davis Greenwell through the grass on the front stretch.
I
He's
think
been
he
complaining about that race car all night.
I think he deliberately came down early this run, and he's going to run the bottom the next two runs would be my guess, now that he's watching what Lucas and the 32 are doing.
I think he'd be crazy kind of not to.
All right, we're hitting lap 32, and a lot of these race cars fuel tanks, so we're going to start seeing pit stops in earnest here.
Lucas, I bet you can go a little bit farther. Here comes Garrett Wolfenbarger, out of control.
Gets it back under control. It's definitely a spicy pit entry, but he got all it was worth and then some.
Lucas Hoytsma have been running the bottom this whole time, which burns less fuel than running the top. So maybe Lucas can push it another 1 or 2 laps here compared to everybody else.
John
Like
Nickrich
Gilio
on
says he's
and
going
off
to
the
come
pit
down
lane.
this time.
Davis Greenwell on the pit lane. John Garrett, as you mentioned, on and off the pit lane, back out there. There's
Lucas does stay out another lap. William Viola going to come to pit road this time.
second place Sims coming down. Along with Bryant, Giglio, Grant Harrell. Then Will Viola. Jeff Price. Pit stops most of the field here.
Trenton Sneed going to come down this time. Zach Margison as well.
34 on Lucas Hoytsma's tank. We'll see if he... Yep, he's woven it down to bring it in. This is the lap that pays the points, so we'll see if anyone stays out and gets those stage points. Travis Martin is. He'll get by Lucas Hoytsma before the start finish. Travis Martin will win the stage. It's not showing the halfway points awarded. But trust me, he did win the stage.
Travis Martin, Lucas Hoytsma.
There it goes. Travis
Trenton
Martin.
Sneed.
Yep, Trenton gets 8, Quinn 7, Cliff 6, Margison 5, J Munch 4. We're still waiting for the last 3 to cross the line to get the rest of these points. So they are on the pit lane. And here comes Travis. Daniel O'Wallen will get 3. Gatlin Downey sits there on the pit lane. I think Brad Wilson may come by. Wilson, I think, picks up. See if we can trigger it one more time. There you go. Brad Wilson gets the 2, and Wolfenbarger gets the 1. So even with the pit stops, they still get stage points.
Brad Wilson's going to be the effective race leader as he is out ahead of Wolfenbarger and Hoytsma. But Lucas is going to have the fresher tires and has proven that he is better at saving tire. We'll see if he can run him down here.
Cliff and J Munch ran very long that fuel run there. I think they were hoping
Travis
for a
Martin
caution.
on the pit lane. He's down and away from his stall.
Brad Wilson takes the race lead back. And they have 2.6 on Lucas Hoytsma. Lucas has 4 lap fresher tires than Brad and 2 lap fresher tires than Garrett. And we'll see over the long run if the 97 can run them back down. In the meantime, we'll just hop around and watch all the battles. You have Quinn Newton and William Viola battling right now. This is for the 10th spot. So they catch Travis Martin coming out of the pit lane. Inopportune time for them to run up on the Ghost Man as Quinn Newton, I think, backed off a little bit. Didn't want to run over Travis. Travis, very squirrely on those cold tires going through 4.
I'm going to choose to push William.
When he's there.
Yes. Definitely a scary moment. I mentioned earlier Davis Greenwell went through the infield grass on the front stretch. Since that moment, he has decided to retire that race car as well. So the 20 machine done for the night.
Unfortunate for the 20 team. Leaves us 22 still running. Garrett Wolfenbarger, meanwhile, getting past teammate Bradley Wilson. 32 goes back to the point. He is running that low side to do so. So he has learned from Lucas Hoytsma. Now Wilson going to fight back to the inside. Gets the 32 up off the bottom. 32 runs the middle instead of the top. He does not want to go to the top. Trying to save those tires in the 32. Still have 2.6 and growing over Lucas Hoytsma. So Lucas obviously still in conserve mode. 2 Shine teammates having a little different approach. Grant Harrell back on the pit lane. Must have picked up a penalty on pit exit. It's the Miller Lite Ford. 4 laps after his last pit stop, back on the pit lane. And it looks like a drive-through for the 22. So there you go. Picked up a penalty. Had to do a drive-through in the 22, and, well, look at there. Back out onto the track he goes. Tough for Harrell running in the top 10 most of the race for the first half. Lucas Hoytsma goes by to put him a lap down now in 19th. It's like also being penalized that sequence. Zach Margison in the 88. He was running back half the top 10, flirting with that possible top 10, but he had a 54-second stop, which tells me 4 tires and a 40-second hold. Sped on the way in or unsafe pit entry, one of the two. And Margison has also picked up the pit penalty. You can confirm it, but I believe the 22 has left the race as well.
Does look like the 22 has at least exited the racing surface. Nothing about leaving the session yet. But I imagine if you've left the racing surface, you don't really intend on coming back.
Jake Lawrence sitting on the pit lane in the 68 team. Travis Martin said he was sputtering in the 63 as he brought that car to the stage win. Funny report there from the 63 team.
Pushed it as far as he could for sure, but it got him the stage win. So ultimately, if he needs those points, come to
extra point in the playoffs never sucks.
Grant Harrell in text chat has said he was DQ'd after his drive-through.
Interesting.
So hard to believe that the penalty was actually just a drive-through. Must have been some kind of a stop and go and didn't serve it properly. And iRacing said, you're done.
Well, he actually took 4 laps to come back in, and I believe it DQs you after 3, so I think he was already done.
Unfortunate for that number 22 machine.
That's why you serve him as soon as you get him. It's never good things if you wait.
Unfortunately, that's just going to be it. We do not clear DQs, and even if we did, I don't think iRacing lets us. I think once you're DQ'd, it's, I think you're done. Just ask Andrew Beach.
Well, there's a difference between remove from race and DQ from session. Remove from race, there's no coming back. DQ from session, I think you actually can come back from.
Wolfenbarger out to a half-second lead over Brad Wilson. Lucas Hoytsma starting to slowly eat into that gap. He's down to 1.5 behind your race leader.
And only 0.8 to the back of Wilson, which that gap was also 1.6, so Wilson fading back to Lucas, as is Wolfenbarger, just at different rates. I believe that's J-Munch just ahead of our leaders. Last car in the lead lap in 18th in the Arc.io Toyota. And there are our 2 leaders right behind him, so J-Munch praying for a caution right now. Giglio and Bryant battle for this 5th spot. Been side by side a few times for it. And Giglio trying to save and hold off the 52 at the same time, and every once in a while that allows the 52 to get to his outside and get alongside, and then Blake just does just enough to get back in front of him.
Brad Wilson pleading with Joel Munchel to drive to the apron and take out the 32 at Garrett Wolfenbarger.
The teammates having some fun in first and second. I kind of wish NASCAR would go back to letting the drivers talk to one another. It was always entertaining.
I think that was my unpopular opinion is that was the greatest era of super speedway racing, was the tandem draft where they could talk to each other. Oh, Hoytsma with a little bit of contact to Brad Wilson as he gets to the inside off of turn number 2.
We did not see contact. That's strange that you saw contact.
At least the cars got out of shape like there might have been a little contact.
Oh, it looked odd, but the angle we had, we're not touching.
Lucas to the apron to try to clear the 51, and he's going to just barely.
Wilson not letting him have it easy, shoves it back in on the inside, making Lucas gives up that bottom that he loves so dearly. But Wilson, all for naught, went to have to tuck back in line behind and maybe helped his teammate Wolfenbarger by making him run a lap a half a lane up. Probably not going to make that much difference, but you never know.
Lucas has about another 15 to 17 laps to try to get back by the 32, because that's about when we hit our pit window. And you want to show yourself that you're going to be in the lead as the pit cycle starts, so hopefully you cycle back out there. His progress is getting a little slower as Wolfenbarger is starting to save those tires running the bottom, more so than the last run where he was running the top.
Yeah, Wolfenbarger definitely learned from the mistake of the first run. He's been glued to that bottom. He went to school watching Lucas Heusman, what Lucas did, and decided, hey, that's something I want to try, and here you go, it's working for him. Holding off Lucas right now.
I believe Wolfenbarger has about 2 or 3 lap older tires than Lucas Hoytsma, and that time is about 0.2 of a second on the stopwatch was the difference in lap time between the 32 and the 97.
A report from chat saying that he remembers when in-car radio Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart were chatting to one another. It was always fun back in the day when you just listen to the drivers chit chat, kind of like in iRacing driver chat. But it was more fun because you could put out the ones you don't like.
Exactly. I remember those dials on their dash where they just have like 18 different car numbers there. You just turn it and talk to somebody and, you know, hope you don't scare the crap out of them and make them wreck.
Wolfenbarger 0.6 over Heusma. Heusma closing in slowly. They both ran a 32.2 last lap. And again, 32.2s posted by both. Wilson falling back there in third. Sims fourth. Giglio's gotten away from Bryant now. He's got a little breathing room. Trenton running seventh. Travis Martin is eighth. Quinn Newton in the 712 brakes car running in the ninth spot. And William Viola, the Culver's machine, in 10th. Back Channel Productions Camaro just outside the top 10 in 11th. John Neckrich, the high-rise fuel car, riding there in the 12th spot. John Garrett, Fort Worth Screen Machine, in 13th. Then you have Gatlin Downey, the double quick car, in 14th. Daniel Llewellyn, CTC Machine, 15th. Trevor Trago, the Wanted Goon Chevrolet, running 16th. Cliff Mullins, 17th. Jay Munch is 18th, and the last car, well, first car one lap down now that he is right behind the 32 of Wolfenbarger. He's
Jolene Sims, that last time down the front straightaway, went through the grass. He lost the position. She lost the position to Blake Giglio, and now she's fighting back on the outside. But that number 6 machine took a trip through the grass. Lap 79 coming to lap 80.
What you're saying is the 6 car illegally cooled the tires on the front stretch.
I am indeed saying that. Unfortunately, that is a big no-no. We're going to send them to the casino just outside of turn 2 there.
Sim's able to use that outside line, get back ahead of the 16, and now can get back to the bottom and try to conserve those tires once again after going for an adventure. Can confirm, by the way, it is indeed an exact 2-lap difference between Wolfenbarger and Hoytsma on the tires. So not a lot of advantage either direction. Hoytsma just a ever so slight advantage of 2 laps, which at a track like this is not that much. Somewhere like Darlington, that matters, but here not so much.
It's also not insignificant either. I'm kind of surprised that the lap times have kind of evened out here between those two. Lucas only a 10th better that last time by, but the previous lap it was again identical. Wonder how much that 69 machine being there is kind of affecting Lucas's air and ability to make grip on the bottom. And Wolfenbarger also on the bottom, certainly not helping the air on that 97. Previous run he had all that clean air to himself because they were running up against the wall, and they seem to have learned as we're quickly approaching our final pit stop.
Yeah, that fuel window opens up in a handful of laps here. We'll see if anyone short pits and tries to get the first set of fresh tires onto the racetrack. Lucas went to the top this time. I believe that means he is going to turn up the wick for a few laps. You see the 32 loose coming up off the bottom. J-Munch going to get right in front of Hoytsma. Hoytsma probably wishing J-Munch would get the hell out the way, but J-Munch trying to hang on to the lucky dog. So doing everything he is allowed to do that.
A little bit of miscommunication between those two there. J-Munch was going to give him the bottom. Lucas, the very lap that he switched the line he was going to run, so a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance there.
This time Hoytsma back to the top, does not have the 69 right in his lap. Let's see if J-Munch gives him this top line, and indeed he does. Now Hoytsma can get that, look at that run the top gives you. It's so OP coming off the corner too.
Especially turn 2, like you mentioned earlier, that's where it really kind of opens up and you can drive with a lot of throttle out of turn 2. And he's starting to close the gap a little bit now. He's going to use that tire he's saved, as we're probably 5 or 6 laps away from that pit window.
Yeah, Lucas is probably going to go another 5 laps, and he's probably going to spend all of them at the top, using up what's good on those rubbers that he had saved. Right to the back bumper of the 32, looking inside as they go down into turn number 3.
Here it is, slide job. He's going to slide up in front of Wolfenbarger.
Takes the air off. Wolfenbarger's expecting it. He's already driving to the bottom. And Hoytsma takes the race lead. Coming to complete lap 86. Wolfenbarger not done.
Slightly shorter distance using that apron. Lucas protecting the top so he can do this. Get on the throttle early and just drive it with a huge run off of turn 2. But he got a little loose.
And getting side draft.
Little slide job. Thinks better of it.
All right, we're back. Fortunately, nothing broke.
Oh, a little bit of contact between Hoytsma and Wolfenbarger into the right rear.
A little bit of a touch as they went across the start-finish line. These two have had some dealings in the past. Definitely no love lost here.
And especially at this track, these two in our Wild Horse Broadcasting ARCA series, on the final lap, got into it down the front stretch and into turn 1. Neither of them ended up winning. And they are picking up right where they left off.
Amazing that they're battling this hard and catching lap traffic. 16th place Trevor Trago right in front of him.
Lucas getting really close to that wall, center of 1 and 2.
The thing is, if they're running this hard, Lucas basically can't decide when he pits unless the 32 is out of his way.
Brad Wilson, however, going to bring it to pit road this time. He was the first one to do it the last pit cycle.
Like Blake Giglio might be doing the same? No, Blake battling Ruby Sims stays out. Just lost the position. And Brad Wilson, the first of our top contenders to hit the pit lane.
Up front, still side by side. Lucas sideways off of turn number 2.
If you're the 32, do you just kind of stop mid-corner and pit? Yep, there it is. That's what I would have done. 32, bringing it to the pit lane. Oh, he messed it up. That is a penalty. 32 just screwed himself out of this race. Garrett Wolfenbarger way outside of the commitment cone and the timing speeds with an unsafe pit entry. The 32 will not be able to get away with that.
And if you're Lucas Hoytsma, you need to just settle down, run a couple of laps by yourself, because you had a big lead over then third place Brad Wilson. You've got time here. You're no longer in a hurry. We have a goddammit from Cliff Mullins. So I'm guessing beating for Cliff Mullins.
Yeah, he got in there pretty hot.
Trenton Sneed also speeding because he couldn't see the cone.
I wonder why.
I wonder where that cone went.
Oh, man.
Lucas Hoytsma to pit road this time.
Woo!
Barely.
Almost gave it away.
I'm not convinced he didn't speed.
You're not convinced he didn't give it away, huh? Man, wouldn't that be something?
See as he brings it to the pit box.
Margison, he sped the last time down. That's kind of where you'd expect them to come out, I guess.
Blake Giglio definitely did not speed.
Blake super careful.
Lucas Hoytsman right sides. I'm going to go around to the left side of that race car, jack it up.
Wolfenbarger and Sneed, 50 seconds stays along with Cliff. And Hoytsma
And
does
Lucas-
not get a penalty.
That is mighty impressive.
And Lucas gets everything he can and gets back out on track. And he should cycle around as our leader. We'll see where Wilson comes around. Wilson is going to get ahead of him, I think. No. Lucas able to hold off Brad Wilson here.
He's got the fresher tires and a gap, so Brad Wilson not going to be a factor.
Llewellyn hits the pit lane, as is Travis Martin, Quinn Newton. So Gatlin Downey, the last one to pit. Gatlin Downey getting himself a lap lead. Have yourself a day, Gatlin. Hopefully he doesn't run out of gas.
The 17 and the 05 both going to bring it down to pit road this time.
Here comes Gatlin Downey. And we'll see in the background, Lucas Weissman will flash by. There he goes. Along with Wilson close behind. And Lucas goes back to the race lead. 26 laps to go here at Kansas Speedway. Is chat working, avid racer fan? Yes, it is. Working on...
Do you have a report that the stream might have gone down for a moment because it's currently at a runtime of 3.5 minutes. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I had a net hiccup there in the middle of all that, but we're back up and running.
Little gaggle of cars here with Blake Giglio, Daniel Lawal, and Garrett Wolfenbarger as we're 3 wide. Only one of those cars on the lead lap.
It's also Brantley Bryant and Jolene Sims, so 3rd through 5th, plus a couple of lap cars in that window.
Brantley Bryant not happy with Daniel Llewellyn, but for once I'm not really sure what Daniel did there to make the 52 upset. Just in the way, I guess. Kind of your responsibility to pass the slower cars, so I'm not sure what that's all about. As Blake Giglio's gotten to the back of the number 6 machine for that 3rd and final podium position.
Oof. Almost made contact with that Toyota. Got within an inch.
Blake picked the same lane as the 6 going into turn 3. Had to check out because of it. It'll take about a lap to make that gap back up. Wolfenbarger just ahead of those two. I believe he is the first car 1 lap down. So when or if we get one of those late race SRL cautions, that would put the 32 back on the lead lap. Although tail end of the field due to being the lucky dog.
Yeah, he'd probably need a couple of those late race SRL cautions to get back in the game.
Certainly not out of the realm of possibility.
You never know when a Daniel Llewellyn or a Cliff Mullins is going to dislike how someone raced them. That
Exactly.
usually ends up with a yellow when they do. 20 cars left running as Jake Lawrence still sits on the pit lane in the 68. And Cody Brown, the last one running, 3 laps down. Cliff Mullins, 2 laps down. And several cars 1 lap down as we've had this long green flag run with Margison, Sneed, Downey, Munchel, Trago, Llewellyn, and Wolfenbarger all off the lead lap. Sneed, Margison, and Wolfenbarger all because of pit penalties. Looks like Cliff picked up a pit penalty as well to make his 2nd lap. He was already 1 lap down to begin with.
Fortunately, Cliff never got that yellow he needed when he got off sequence with those tires.
I probably would have just run them as long as I could. Since you had 4 sets in the pits, you know, basically, if it goes green, you're actually still going to leave a set in there, so you might as well have taken a set, you know. But hard to know that in advance.
Yeah, hard to know when to take that extra set. A lot of drivers like to wait and hold on to it in case you need it right at the end.
See, I always liked giving exact number of pit stops you think, and that many tires, and then the drivers decide when they take them early, or do they try not to take them and have an extra set late. That was always my favorite way to do it.
I always tried to give drivers that one extra set to play with for a little bit of strategy. If you use it early, if you think it'll go green, use it late on something like a green-white checker.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It actually adds strategy.
Neither of them are wrong. They're just extra strategy in different directions.
Yep.
I don't like giving an excessive amount of tires.
Which
That's
I think one more than the number of pit stops you make is an excessive amount to me.
Two is excessive. 3 is, what are we doing?
I give unlimited on super speedways just because who cares about tires on super speedways?
They never really matter there. See, this shows you the state of the race. Everyone's so spread out. We're
Yep.
debating how many tires to give drivers.
We do have Giglio and Bryant bouncing off one another on the backstretch. So there's that.
Low drag versus Shenandoah Shine. Who would have seen that coming?
Blake hit the apron, almost got into Bryant. Fortunately, Bryant was just clear of him. Daniel Llewellyn now putting the inside moves on Blake Giglio.
That's going to make Blake real happy.
The last time you saw Daniel Llewellyn pass Blake Giglio. Oh,
He's
Daniel
not
hits the
going to
apron!
because he hit the
Oh
apron.
my gosh, I had to scare Trevor Trago half to death.
Trevor staying out of the back of the 23. If he gets into Daniel, that's your late race SRL caution.
It was so close. So close to our entertainment caution. My goodness gracious. Lucas, almost 4 seconds on Brad Wilson. The real fun is here, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Also William Viola and Jeff Price. This is a battle inside the top 10. So good for Jeff Price to keep with it all race long. Spent most of it back part of the top 20. Up into the top 10 with everyone's pit penalties.
First start of the year. Good to see him running in that 9th spot, possibly a top 10 as
Brag on him and he hits
the
the wall. Broadcaster curse. Oh man.
Yep.
Sorry, Jeff.
Of course it is.
Sorry. Blame Hayden. I brought you up, but blame
Whoops.
Hayden. John Garrett in the top 10, just ahead of the 26 of John Neckrich. Those two battle for position. This is our second
John now
closest
the
battle.
first car 1 lap down. Over John being the second car 1 lap down.
It's the battle of the Johns. There can only
John
be one.
versus John.
Looks like
26
Neckrich has
versus 66.
4 lap fresher tires, so advantage 26 here. But 66 has the track position. We'll go back to Jolene, Ruby Sims, Bryant, and Giglio. These three still putting on a battle with 14 to go.
Jolene doing a really good job of pulling off these 2 race cars. They've both tried to get around her, but they just can't do it. Giglio back to the inside of the 52.
If he doesn't hit the apron this time, might have a little bit better chance of passing. If you haven't checked it out, that hood of that number 16 definitely caused the Shenandoah Shine drivers a bunch of cheaters. We don't have any real merit to that. It's just fun, the trash talk between Low Drag and Shenandoah Shine. Oh, Bryant hits the wall right behind Giglio in front of Trevor Trago, so that'll give Blake some breathing room. Completes the pass for 4th and now sets sights on Jolene Sims. It's 1 lap fresher tires, then the 6. Back to Neckrich and Garrett. Neckrich has gotten by Garrett.
I was going to say, for the Lucky Dog spot, John has gotten around John. And that puts John in the Lucky Dog spot.
It's a tough break for John to lose that spot to John. John really needed to hang on to that Lucky Dog spot, but now John has taken over that Lucky Dog spot, and John's going to have to settle for not being a Lucky Dog.
Yeah, the car that ends in a 6 has gotten by the car that ends in a 6, both driven by John.
John's driving 2 cars right now. That's impressive. Yes, we are trying to entertain ourselves right now because there's not a lot going on.
Lucas Hoytma has a 5-second lead over Brad Wilson. Leave it to Lucas to ruin any kind of fun late in these races.
And now you know exactly what it feels like to broadcast the race in the Xfinity Series when Hayden Law's in it.
See, we just need me, Lucas, and Blake all back in it. We can all be racing up front 5 seconds ahead of Brad Wilson.
But Blake's in it, and he's like 7 seconds back.
Yeah, if Blake just stopped hitting the wall on his own, he'd be right up there.
The wall, the apron, you know.
He's probably lost about 7 seconds by doing that all race. And would you look at that? That put him right behind Lucas Hoytsma. I understand why NASCAR gets a little trigger happy with that button late in races. It's like, come on, what if we just had one restart? Like, come on. Like, just give me a reason. Give me a reason to have a restart.
Martin Truex looked out the right side of his window. There's a caution. What? Yeah.
An extra piece of rubber in turn 6.
Someone's tire put too much rubber down. There's a water bottle coming out of the window in turn 4. The Robbie Gordon caution when he throws that thing right out the window. The 32 is trying to help the 51. I don't think it's working. They're definitely not catching Lucas.
Let's see what they run for lap times here. Brad ran a 32.5. Lucas ran a 32.2.
And
so
Jolene,
a quarter of a second faster.
Jolene a 32.1. So they're not even pulling away from third.
No, Jolene's going to have a chance at second here, actually.
Yep. Wilson burned up the tires.
Also has older tires. Older and burned them quicker.
Older burned her. Burned her older. Of Shenandoah Shine, guys? Oh my.
Swiss has gone down again.
I'm back again.
And he's back again.
I don't know what's causing it. All my numbers look good, so it's got to be something with the provider. But sorry for that, even though it's not something I can really help. I know it's annoying.
Jolene is...
We're right there.
Wolfenbarger tried to throw a small block.
To the top goes the 6, right up against the wall. She's not been up there much tonight.
Huge run.
Going to get the massive run by the 32. 32 tries the side draft, nothing doing. Cuts to the inside. He gets alongside Wilson, pushes him up the track for the corner entry. That was pretty awesome. That might be move of the race for me. What about you?
That was solid racecraft right there. Threading the needle.
Wilson knocked down the wall on corner exit for extra measure.
Oh, this is 6.5 seconds behind Lucas Hoytsma. We don't care about him.
Yeah, that's boring up there. Oh, briefly the 51 was inside the 6, but that power move off the top of turn number 2, and that's probably going to do it for that battle. Wilson trying to overdrive it as hard as he can. Giglio hoping that Wilson does overdrive it and get into that podium spot.
Blake trying to cut all the distance he can out of the racetrack to get there. He still might.
I think he will. I mean, we still got 3.5 laps to go.
But he's got to pass the 32 as well.
There's a lot of animosity between those two camps. .32 drives it in deep, cuts the nose off of the 16. Trying to block him with the air. Hugging the inside, now trying to block him with the physical race car. Blake to the top. See if he can get the run off of turn number 2.
Huge run, huge run.
And where does he go with it? He gets the outside of the 32. Are we seeing a replay here? Is he going to cut to the inside of the 51? No, he stays to the top.
He's going to go upstairs again. He's probably going to be committed to the top side of the racetrack the rest of this run. Trying to get past Brad Wilson as we're going to come.
Now he's got to go to the inside. There it is. He got that run off the top. Wilson moved up to try and cut it off. Giglio took the run to the bottom, and I think he's going to clear him with the slider here.
Oh, he could have cleared him into one, but chose not to.
Wilson actually chose the bottom. Giglio's going to hold serve down there, park the bus. Keeps the inside to himself, and Wilson not able to cut back.
Ooh, Wilson. Close to that left rear.
Very close to that left rear. Oh, Giglio gets big time loose out of 4. White flag is in the air as we watch this battle for third.
Brad nearly into the wall. That was close.
He's going to have to run coming out of 2. Blake going to have to try and side draft him going into 3. Lucas Weiss was going to bring it off turn 4 and get the win. Sims will pick up 2nd. The battle is on for 3rd. Giglio and... oh, they make contact. Giglio's going to lose it. He crashes into Wilson. Wilson backwards across the line for 3rd. Giglio 4th. Wow. Bryant picks up 5th. Here comes Travis Martin.
Rolling into Brad Wilson.
Martin gets 6th. Newton 7th. William Viola picks up 8th. And Jeff Rice going to be your last car on the lead lap as he slides it across the line for 9th. And John Nickrich, first car a lap down, finishes 10th in the 26th. Lucas Huisman gets the whole win there in relatively easy fashion. Here comes Sims to give him a bump. Congratulatory nudge.
Let's go grab race winner Lucas Hoitzma. You got us, Lucas?
Yep.
Well, you made it interesting the first half of the race. Ultimately, like you always do in the second half, you saved some tire and got out ahead of them, and aided by a pit penalty on the 32 machine. But kind of walk us through your night and how you put this Sunny D Ford Mustang in victory lane yet again.
Well, first caution, I decided, well, I'm going to try to fuel save because I thought the 32 and the 51 just had me on speed. So I was like, well, I got to try something. So I tried to save fuel. I was going to make it. I don't know what it would have looked like at the end of the race. It was a long time to save fuel, but I could make it. But that ended up not working out. I'm thankful for that now. I was able to get out there and realized, you know, you can save a lot of tire if you run that bottom. So decided to do that. It actually worked really well on that first run. I caught those guys and put them behind me. Saved as much fuel as I could to make it to the stage, and then, I mean, and just kind of driving on the bottom the whole race from there on.
Yeah, we noticed you took over that bottom line, and really everyone started to copy you except for Wilson, and Wilson really suffered not copying you that second run, so he ended up actually moving down on the third run as well. Great strategy, great effort to save the tires on that bottom lane, and I was like you. I knew you were saving in that first run. I was telling Aiden, you have to be saving the way people were going around you on the outside like that. I just wish we could have seen how that all played out. It would have been fun, but congrats on the win there. You got the Friends Family sponsor shout-outs for us?
Yes, sir. Just a big shout out to Sunny Delicious, or Sunny Delight.
Wow.
We're just not going to touch on that.
Nope.
Anyway, CTCRN, Low Drag, M9 Performance, 712 Brakes, you for the broadcasting, and the best drummer in the world, Randy Lee, who was in chat with us tonight.
Perfect. Well, congrats on the win. Get on out of here, enjoy it, and good luck in the broadcast booth tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, sir. See you.
That was second place Lucas, or first place Lucas Hoitzma. We're going to grab second place Jolene Sims. If I can just find broadcast on the list there. There we go. Jolene, Hayden and Swiss up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, second place tonight after a win yesterday. Good week for you so far. Kind of walk us through your race and how you got to second.
Yeah, it was quite a fun time. I was deciding between this league and our 2003 league. I'm happy I chose this one because Kansas and Xfinity cars is a ton of fun. So qualified up front, start P3, and then we had a yellow early on. I was like not paying attention on pit road. I sped, had to go to the back, and just got caught up in just a bunch of back marker stuff, and then kind of just spent the rest of the race making my way up. Then we had another yellow, and then just from there, I think we went green from there on. So for me, it was just all about making it to each mark, like pit mark 60 and 90, and just saving tires. And luckily, I haven't driven this combination before, but I've driven the Xfinity car, so just tried my best to save tires and just race my way through. And then that last like 30 or 45 laps or so, it was just racing the 16, 51, 52 as well. But that was a lot of fun. It's very hard, very aggressive racing. Cars are loose. Just what a great night. Happy to finish second.
So, congrats on the strong run. You got the Friends Family sponsor shout outs for us tonight?
I do actually. Thank you for. Well, I didn't ask Donut Moth to be on this car, but they are my favorite streamer merchandise brand, and as well as Beyond the Vids that is on the backside of my car. Me and my friend's YouTube series that we've been working on the Oizio channel. So go ahead and check that out if you can. And thanks to y'all for broadcasting and pretty big field again. So it was a great race. Only like 2 or 3 yellows and a very long last run. Everybody here did a great job, and happy to have a P1 and then a P2 in my bank for my first 2 starts in this SRL season. So thanks.
10-4, congrats on a strong run, and hopefully we'll see you back next week.
Thanks.
Perfect. Now we get third place, Brad Wilson.
And we got a lot to ask about here. Brad, this is Hayden and Swiss up in the booth. We're just gonna jump right into it. Walk us through the last lap.
I genuinely just tried to give it everything I had, and off of 4, I was turning more right than I was left, and I thought Blake was going to be heading a little more to the bottom than what he was, and got into him there a little bit. So gotta say sorry to him.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, he came back up the track and collected you big time. Luckily enough, you still got third place out of it. Kind of. How was your night?
Honestly, I was just happy to get through the race without my PC taking a shit. And I think we figured it out. I think it's crew chief, so I'm uninstalling that as we speak. Getting rid of that.
Nice. Well, at least you figured it out.
Hopefully. Now come tomorrow, watch me black out of the cup race, but we'll see.
Another one to keep an eye on that it's been bugging with me has been Discord, so check that one out too. Like, just Control-Alt-Delete, watch your CPU usage. Discord's been spawning like 18 extra programs that's been zapping the PC, so keep an eye on that one too.
Oh geez, yeah, I definitely will now, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to the interview. Go ahead, Hayden.
I got nothing else.
You said we had a lot to ask, and then you asked him one thing.
I said we had one big thing to ask about, so that's it's your turn, Swiss.
Okay, well, I mean, it was a very entertaining race. Unfortunately, obviously, the 32 sped there, else he might have had a little bit more to give to Lucas there. It looked like you were kind of burning up the tires, and you were very committed to the top early on. Did you kind of notice that Lucas and the 32 of Wolfenbarger had moved down and were saving their tires better longer in the run?
Yeah, during that run, Wolfie went down there, and I saw him kind of pull away from me, so I knew next run I definitely had to go down there, but how much I burned that right rear that first run, I couldn't run it. I went down there and it felt like I was drifting, so just went back to what we knew. I don't really know how they saved that much right rear on it. I tried, and it seemed like it just kept letting go every time, but I don't know. Lucas is one of the best here for a reason.
Just an alien. Don't worry about it.
That
All right, bud. You got the friends, family, sponsor shout-outs for us tonight?
The main one's just ShandoShine.co, Mooncar, my teammates Brantley and Garrett for coming and racing this. You two for putting this on. It's always fun to go back and watch, see all the battles that you miss while in the race. Everyone for showing up. It's a blast to have big fields like this. Can't wait to move on to tomorrow where we usually get big fields as well and have some fun. Everyone watching, and Blake again, sorry. Cannot stress that enough.
Do you really want a big field tomorrow at Bristol?
If we can run it right, yes.
Do you remember Richmond?
Okay, maybe not.
Do you really think we're going to run it right?
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll find out tomorrow, won't we? Come on back tomorrow and jump on Lucas's channels and watch the CTC Race Network put on Bristol, and Bradley will be there and showing me how to run around, and I'll be 8 or 9 tenths off of him trying to do my best.
Might need to watch Wolfie. He's pretty damn good at Bristol.
Oh, he's probably a whole second and a half faster. I need to catch up to you first.
Baby steps.
Exactly. All right, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Get on out of here. Enjoy your night.
All right, thanks, sir. You too.
Brad Wilson in the 51. Having a good time with him. Hayden, your final thoughts on tonight's race?
Another classic Kansas Xfinity race. A couple cautions early, long green flag run to end it. Couple of green flag pit stops in there, and ultimately the fastest car won, arguably.
Over the long run, yeah.
Over the long run. Garrett Wolfenbarger fast car all night, right there with Lucas in terms of speed and pace, both on short and long runs. Ultimately, that mistake getting onto pit road was the difference in the race, and Lucas Hoitzma able to bring home a solid 8 out of 10 race in victory lane.
All right, let's run through our final results. Lucas Hoitzma, your winner. Jolene Ruby Sims and Brad Wilson getting on the podium. Giglio and Bryant round out your top 5. Then Travis Martin, Quinn Newton, William Viola, Jeff Price, and John Neckrich, your top 10.
John also finishing 11th, but this one of the Garrett variety. And also Garrett Wolfenbarger finishing in the 12th spot after the aforementioned pit road penalty. Gatlin Downey 13th, Trevor Trago 14th, 15th Daniel Llewellyn, 16th Joel Munchell, 17th Trenton Sneed. Unfortunate to see him that far back after a speeding penalty late. Gives him, unfortunately loses him about 12 spots, running up in the top 5 early, back to 17th. Zachary Margerson 18th, 19th Cliff Mullins, and rounding out the top 20 is Cody Brown.
And that's those 17th, 18th, and 19th all had pit road violations, along with 12th place Wolfenbarger. So pit road, interesting place tonight, catching quite a few drivers out. We have Grant Harrell 21st, Jake Lawrence 22nd, Davis Greenwell 23rd, Matt Benke 24th, Bill Rivard 25th, and Mike Edwards 26th. All those drivers having issues early on and falling out of the race before the end of the race. Any other things you'd like to get off your chest before we get out of here tonight, Hayden?
Next week is going to be fun. We're turning left and right next week in wine country, Napa Valley, Sonoma, California. We're going to bring the Napa Chevrolet out of the garage. We're going to be a member of the race next week. We're going from the broadcast booth, trading in a microphone for a steering wheel, and we're going to see if we can put it in victory lane.
See, that's where you're wrong. You're going to still have a microphone. You're going to be behind the wheel of the car, but I'm going to still be coming in and talking to you very frequently.
That's fine. Let's do it.
Hell yeah, you're going to be broadcasting from inside the race car, Kyle Petty style. Remember what he said at Sonoma? Still the greatest lap one ever.
10 out of 10.
All right, we'll look forward to that next week. Should be fun at the road course, and you'll be giving us all kinds of insight from behind the wheel and your cocky, arrogant ways that you do. And we'll see you next week for that. Thanks all for being here tonight. We appreciate you being part of our broadcast. Thanks so much, as always, to all of our sponsors, all of our admins, and all of our drivers to help make these leagues continue to go on for you. And thanks for coming out to watch our products, and that helps us do what we can do for you. Appreciate you, as always. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Cup race from Bristol. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
And that ends the YouTube. Now we're just Twitch stream. We get the music back going, have a party, watch all the wrecks. Weren't that many. Should be a